Hello, it's day number 338 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And we have a returning service hero, one of my teammates from the Next Impactor from Team Todd. We have Brooke Curran here. Let me brag about Brooke again. Not only is she amazing, I absolutely adore her for who she is, how she was as a teammate,
Aw.
how she is as just a person in general, and what her mission is in life. I want to brag about also the fact that she's been helping us with our current program and project that we have coming up in 20 days, the Give-a-thon for Chemo Buddies for Life, and all of our graphics. So welcome, Brooke.
Yay.
Thank you for all of your help.
No, no problem. It's been a pleasure. So
Oh,
it's
thank
always
you.
a pleasure to work with you, Tamara. So
Well, thank you. We've had our fun, haven't we?
I know it's been we've known each other.
Yeah.
We just miss each other too much, so we have to keep working with one another, right?
I
So
I absolutely 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, well, let's say hello to some people that are stopping by. We have Emilio. Thank you for coming by today. Hello. And we have one of our Chemo Buddies for Life buddies, Helene, one of my buddies. Great to have you this afternoon. And I love it when they start already having a party
Woo.
here at the show, like saying hello to each other. So, I want to go into just kind of like a bit of the background, and then we'll go into what it is that we're doing right now. But you decided to get involved with the Next Impactor.
hmm
Why don't you kind of go into that a bit?
Well, I became involved with the Next Impactor because, well, my main mission is to help end the problem of youth homelessness here in Chicago, and by providing resources and awareness and the funds needed to help empower our youth. So it's homelessness is a big problem here in Chicago and around the country, actually. So I think, as a person who works as a graphic designer, I felt like I have the tools necessary to help create awareness so that people can really know about the issue and say, "Oh, I can help with that." So, um, as a graphic designer, I create impact. So,
Yes,
so
you do.
that's my job. So,
Yes, you do, and may I say you do it well. I have to say
there you
I
go.
love, love, love your image that you work with for your creative consulting. With the dragonfly,
Yeah.
and it just I don't know. There's just something about it. Why did you choose the dragonfly?
Oh, well, the dragonfly is a symbol of transformation and change. And on a personal level, the dragonfly is very spiritual and it flies high. It's high vibrational and transparent. So it's full of genuine love and good spirit. So, and that's what I like to when I work on art for people. I like to create art that gives the customer a positive experience that makes them smile, or something that creates a really positive energy or a mood. And I think that's important. Creating positive images and energy out in this world. So.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And you are in the Chicagoland area,
hmm
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. It was really interesting when I first met so many of our teammates because out of the 10 of us, how many of us were from your neck of the woods? Quite a few.
Four on our team are from Chicago. So Brian and
Lauren,
Lauren,
Alicia.
Alicia, and me,
Right. And
all from Chicago, from the same networking group. Well, except for Brian, but Brian happens to live in Chicago, but three of us were in the same networking group, so we knew of each other, but but it was one thing to know of each other. It's another thing to work with each other. So
Right, right. Oh, and then we had another one. Our military single father.
oh, that's right.
Yes, he ended up withdrawing quickly. However, he was
Yeah,
originally on our team. Yes,
yeah.
yeah. So we had so 5 out of the 10 came from your neck of the woods, and that was really cool, I have to say, because of the fact that I had never been to Chicago. Now I have.
Right.
And and when you guys at first were talking about Chicagoland, I'm thinking, what are they talking about? Where are they talking? And then it was explained to me that like, you think about in New York, you have the boroughs. Out here in, California, you have the suburbs. And there you have, like, it's the greater Chicagoland, right? It encompasses the
Right.
land around the city.
Right. Well, there's different terms for it. So we have Chicago and the suburbs, or some people just call it Greater Chicagoland. Some people call it Chicagoland. So, but the city is the city, and the suburbs are the suburbs. So I live in the city. So if there's the city with the city limits, and even within the city, there's downtown center. So like Michigan Avenue, that's downtown center. People shop down there. They work in the Loop.
Right, right.
Not too many people live down there per se. Most of us live further north. You take the L, the famous
Right, right. That was
elevated
on
tracks.
The Fugitives. I love
Right,
movies. I mean, I'll
right.
never forget. In fact, when we were driving by it when I was in Chicago, I'm like, oh, there it is. I
Yes.
and it's kind of fun to be a bit of a tourist when
Yeah.
you go somewhere else. And, okay,
Yeah.
so now you you have fun.
Yeah.
I looked for one of your pictures with your glasses and I wasn't finding them, but you like to have a lot of fun when you do stuff, right?
Oh yeah. I homelessness, the youth homelessness and homelessness in general is kind of a big. It can be kind of a daunting issue or a scary issue for people. So my approach with that was to make it more approachable. Just have fun with it. Inspire people to do something through having fun. Maybe it's a big problem, but we can still have fun helping other people. So that's
I agree.
the whole idea. With chemo buddies, let's have some
Right.
fun. Yeah, right. So.
Exactly. That's where it was actually going. It was like, okay, yes, I think that's why we do so well together, because we have
Right.
dealing with some pretty heavy subjects.
Right.
However, doing it with some humor, hope, and heart. Like, okay, yeah, you wear like little briefs on your hair, sometimes our head, like a hat, and really glasses, and I'll never forget when you won or you were picked to go into the top 50, that Jack was actually doing one of those scissor dances, whatever that thing was, and I was like,
Right.
oh, I like these people right off the bat.
Yeah. I know. He'll look back on these videos and go, "Mom, what did you have me do?"
Yeah, what were
So,
you thinking?
nah, he likes to have fun too. So, but it's perfect. It's through involving Jack, I hope to teach him too that helping others is a fun and it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It creates compassion, helps create awareness. Kids his age like to help. They like to be helpful, especially when they're 9, 10, 11. They're still at that age where they have all kinds of ideas and they get excited. And, it's it's a great age. So I'm hoping to inspire him to be part of his community when he grows up. And that's the whole idea. So,
Helene is
yes.
saying, thank you all who care enough to help, I think, the homeless and the
Right.
youth, and then also, and she's bringing up a good point
Mm-hmm.
that some of the people that are homeless
Right.
and our youth actually are dealing with cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
that is something that really is real. And thank you for bringing that up, Helene,
Right.
because I don't know that people really equate that and they think about it, because sometimes I will say that they may be in the numbers, however, they may not be
Mm-hmm.
outside. They might be couch surfing, they might be displaced, they may be
Right.
living in their car, but they're
Mm-hmm.
having to make choices because of the fact that it's just so difficult to maneuver through all the
Mm-hmm.
extra expenses when you are fighting for your life. And you
Right.
are also, you might have been paycheck to paycheck as it
Right.
was, and then you may have lost your paycheck because you're having to go through treatment.
Right.
And so, yeah, Helene, thank you for bringing that up. And
Right.
that is actually something
Mm-hmm.
is is part of the mission, because of the fact that what we are doing, and we were counting down, and you've been helping, and we're going to go into the graphics that you've helped with, but we are counting down to be raising funds, awareness too,
Uh-huh.
but funds, because we now have a community that has
Mm-hmm.
started. We have growth that's taking place,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be able to fund our projects that we have, and some of them, it's pretty amazing to think, for some, that if you had a stipend program for even those that are volunteering, and then they can in return be able to qualify to have some help with, let's say, their electric bill or some food or gas or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it may be, that can be the difference of keeping a roof over your head
Mm-hmm.
and being considered homeless,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I would, yeah, definitely. Every bit helps. So for
Uh-huh.
sure, especially the women with children. So it's just the other day I saw a program on the news where they have a special housing for families with illness. They have their own rooms. So until they can find a different situation to live in, they get this room where they can at least have their own things. So like a mother, so that a mother who has cancer or a mother who has a child that has cancer can stay in that room specifically for them and not get infected by everyone else around them. So that was quite interesting. I didn't know that before, but yeah, I would think, anything that you could contribute would help that person to get back into some sort of normalcy or keep whatever they have. A lot
Right.
of people, like the moms, have problems. They might lose their jobs because all the times they have to go to like a doctor's appointment, like 20 doctor's appointments. It's.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I can, yeah, I sympathize. It's
Yeah, it's a real
it's
deal, and what I have heard from those that have talked with me, because I in doing the due diligence for creating this, I did a
mm-hmm.
lot of that, and I was told,
Right,
I'll never forget, I was told that $400 can be the difference of
right.
someone having a roof over their head and being displaced. And so many people,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a huge amount of money. But
Right.
there are others that can say, oh, I could blow that on a weekend, going and
Mm-hmm.
staying at, a hotel and a few nice dinners, and maybe going to the theater or something,
Mm-hmm.
that's easily spent. And to think that you can change the situation for
Mm-hmm.
someone that is facing and fighting for their life, and they possibly have these kids too, and there
Mm-hmm.
are far too many, that I don't know that people are aware of the epidemic that we have going on in some of the cancers, that
Mm-hmm.
they're diagnosed and shortly thereafter they are given divorce papers. And when that happens,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost an epidemic. And when that happens, if they don't know to ask for a stay from the judge
Mm-hmm.
while they're going through, oftentimes that insurance is held by the person that handed the divorce papers to the mother that
Mm-hmm.
possibly is fighting for their life. So not only are they going through a divorce, they're going through cancer, and their
Mm-hmm.
insurance has been taken away. If
Right.
their insurance is taken away, they cannot continue in the treatment that they were in. And
Mm-hmm.
that having some more than awareness, because people say awareness and they're thinking, oh, what does that really do? What can that really do? Well, something like this, if we can get it out there to not only make people aware on the front lines, but then possibly go to our politicians and say, are you aware that this law needs to be changed? Because sometimes animals have more rights to their lives than we do.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I know.
And so that's where I'm always very careful in respecting the fact that some people will say, oh, yes, you're educating, yes, awareness, that's nice, but what are you really doing to make a difference? Well, I will tell you this, that type of awareness and being willing to go up and sit in front of politicians, being willing to, deal with getting the message out in the right places in the right way, and so that we can start empowering these people, these, if you will, buddies, these people within the community, that can make a complete generational difference. Because if we do not change things, what we are starting to see is that too many of these kids that are now losing their parent that had cancer, the parent that abandoned them is not taking them back. What happens? They end up in our system. And they end up becoming a statistic. So it just is one problem after another problem after another problem. And too many people are not aware of it. And so what you're doing right now in helping the teens, this is where it's a full circle, in helping teens that are homeless. They're in the Chicagoland area. And you were just talking about how many inches of snow did you guys get in November?
I think we got like certain areas 3 to 5 inches already. So it's pretty cold if you have to sleep in your car, folks. So, right?
Yeah. So, and sleep in your car, and some of them would consider that lucky to be in the car.
Right, if they have a car. Here in Chicago, we have people who have tents, cardboard boxes. It's a matter of survival. So it's, a lot in Chicago, they find whatever warmth they can, whether it's in and out of a restaurant quickly or they go into the library. A lot of homeless here in the Chicago libraries during the day. So it's a big problem. Anyone who loses their health insurance with an illness, they start facing real issues. So it's important. It is. Everything is all connected. So
it really is, and that's why I'm so grateful to have you on this journey together. And yes, we like to have fun because you've got to.
Right.
Because, you start talking about this, and I'm sure many people are like, oh, this is a fun subject. Well, you know what? It is what it is, and we cannot sugarcoat it. However, that's where good people coming together and saying enough is enough, that we can do this if we are determined and we are smart and we're responsible and we are willing to be accountable and we're willing to say no bloated nonprofit. We are willing to get out there and say we are going to be making a difference with the people that we are serving. How refreshing is that?
There you go. So every little thing helps. It's whether it's volunteering or donations or being a buddy. So there's so many ways you can help. So.
Absolutely. And in fact, before we go on, I want to just say thank you to Stephen Smith. I didn't put the image in here, but he was our guest yesterday. And what he did was he said, okay, first person to donate, once we did the show, would receive his book, which is a
Mm-hmm.
transformation book. And we had a winner. And Mandy Cassidy, I want to say thank you for your donation. And we've already put them together. And so he will be sending
Mm-hmm.
out the book to her. And I love this because,
Mm-hmm.
these amazing people that we're working with within our volunteer group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you come across such a wonderful group before?
They're awesome. It's just they're all volunteers, folks. So no, they're really wonderful people. So a
Yes.
lot very talented people too. So yes.
Yeah,
I thought you.
absolutely. I know. And in fact, it's one of those situations where you want to say, okay, let's keep working
Yes.
together. And now let's work here and there because it's becoming such a cohesive group too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
noticing that it's like tag teaming. Okay, now we need
Mm-hmm.
to do this, and then it's like step into action. Then
Mm-hmm.
you do something, you send it over to someone else, then they proof
Mm-hmm.
it, then and it's a collaboration, and it's all volunteer.
It reminds me, I still have a postcard to do. So
That's okay.
oh, it's
And I love it because we do have to have accountability to our coach, whose name is Coach Jason Cisneros.
wow, wow, wow.
Yes, the bald avenger himself. And
Right.
and and I have to just say, I'm grateful that
Mm-hmm.
that for the next impact, or the first global next impact, or however you want to title it, that we had such amazing coaches that
Mm-hmm.
were a part of the prize, and they've all stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
In which we get to visit the whole leadership team every week. We get the bald Avenger showing up with his business abilities and coaching style, and we laugh our way through getting a lot of massive amount of action items and outcomes done, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you mean it's no small lift you have there. So it's organizing what 20 some volunteers and getting everything ready for Giving Tuesday. It's no small feat. So it
No.
really helps with Jason's business expertise to run meetings and get goals accomplished and fundraising and things like that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's pretty cool. So
It is. And so,
yes.
okay, now I want to take you through a journey. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. Brooke's mastery. In fact, I saw this right off the bat when I got to know her, and then we did your Service Hero show, which you were the
Mm-hmm.
Service Hero on Easter, right? Was it Easter? Mother's Day.
Mother's
Mother's Day.
Day.
Yes,
Yay.
Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day. I knew it was one of the holidays during that
Uh-huh.
time. So you were our Mother's Day Service Hero. And it was because of the fact that here you're out there,
Mm-hmm.
you have your own job, your own company,
Mm-hmm.
you're running a program to help the inner city youth, or the youth,
Mm-hmm.
to have items that are needed, those that are
Mm-hmm.
homeless, and being able to help the homeless issue. And you are an excellent mother to Jack. You're helping him to grow up in a way to see, to give, and
Mm-hmm.
then we talked about your history growing up, and what
Mm-hmm.
kind of the decision making that you got, and where you got what from,
Mm-hmm.
and getting to know you even that much more. I have that much more of a deep respect for your complete creative abilities, because you also sing, you play the
Mm-hmm.
guitar, you do comedy, you do you actually took your graphic artistry serious.
Mm.
You went to school. Talk about
Yes.
that. You
Well, well,
Yeah.
yeah, since I was a kid, I've always been drawing and doing posters, and for every bake sale and chicken dinner at church and school, I was always the one doing posters. So, I love art. I like I always drew like children's like comic like cartoon cards too with jokes and stuff. I like making people chuckle. So
Yeah, you do.
so so I got to the point where I had to go to school. It was kind of a toss up between biology and music and art. So I think my mom was kind of like pushed me towards the arts more because she figured, marketing, advertising, it's a good way to make a living, and I can always do the other stuff on the side. So be it. So, but no, I always had and I grew up in a retail environment, so it's kind of in my blood. I know, I know merchandising. I learned from my grandmother and my aunt about merchandising to customers, making products appear like beautiful and wonderful and fun. And my grandmother had a pretty good store, folks, so it was always fun too. I think that was part of my grandma's theory too. Work might be retail is kind of hard work, but you might as well have some fun doing it. So she sold party supplies. So hey, but at that time there weren't any there weren't any party stores. So hers was one of the first in the country, and
Wow.
it grew to 10,000 square feet. How about that? So
Wow. Was it in Chicago?
no, in Rockford. So,
All
but
right.
yeah, it was. So yeah, I had that in my blood. And so, as a kid, I always wanted to go to Chicago. I love Chicago, the energy of it, the design, the style, the art, the food, the culture, the theater, music. So here I am. I went to school at Northern Illinois University to become a designer. To become a professional designer, you do have to have a 4-year college degree, and you learn everything from color theory to drawing to photography to at that time we were just learning computers because that's when the Adobe suite just started to come out, but we did everything by hand at that point, and it was learning how to actually the emphasis was on visual communications and design. So we learned to design everything, whether it was a product, a shape, a form, learning the value of well-designed objects, like everything from soap to wine bottles to whatever. Learning about packaging, learning about environmental design, displays. So there's design theory to it. So it's we learned, how to the importance of good design that interacts with its customers. So Northern was our teacher, our professors were also we're also working in the real world too. So they weren't just fine arts people or whatever. They were actually real designers working in real agencies, owning their own agencies, and could pass down their experience to us as newbies. So it was really quite interesting, It was. And then later on, I learned a lot of what I know now from just, besides school, you have work experience. So there's nothing like real world experience to shape and mold you into the designer that you are. I started in real estate advertising. And that's back when we still had newspapers.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
So,
That has to, but that gives you a lot of value because you think about it,
right.
you had the two-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
three-dimensional thing that
Yep.
you have to be able to transfer from
Right.
that. And that makes a lot of sense because you have been actually educating
Mm-hmm.
me, which I appreciate, and our team in regards to, okay, yes, well, we can do it this way for the print, and we
Right.
can do it this way for the digital.
Mm-hmm.
Where with me, of course, I'm thinking, oh, well, we just need to have it, and we can just have it be go across all disciplines, and and it's like, well, yes and no. You need to be able to think in
Right.
terms of, and that makes a lot more sense in listening to you
Mm-hmm.
because you have
Mm-hmm.
that education, and not everybody does. Many people think that, oh yeah, I'm a graphic artist because
Mm-hmm.
I I took I went online and I learned about Adobe Suite. or I learned about this or that.
Mm,
And now, and I've got a natural ability, which I have nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to put
right.
it down.
No.
It's just that there's something to the education piece of it.
Hmm.
And so the practical application, it goes a lot smoother, correct?
Well, yes, you have to consider what are you using things for. Different mediums have different criteria as far as files go and color and all of that. So if you're printing, things need to be high resolution. If you're using for digital and the web, things can be low res, and you can kind of fudge things more when you're doing the web. But when it comes to print, no, you can't. So I'm just trying to think ahead and get you organized and for the future, so that when you get to a situation where I need to do this banner, and I need a vector logo, you already have it. It's good to go.
Right.
So
Right. Which I can't even say thank you enough, because I know when because when we were dealing with the Fusion project together, and you helped with
right,
that the T-shirts that we all ended up wearing.
right.
In fact, okay, I even have an image of us in them. So let me just pull that up
Ah.
real fast. But when we were
Mm-hmm.
working on this, or I thought I did, but when we were working on this, that's when it actually I did not understand the idea of that you couldn't just take something from PicMonkey and make it work, because that's what I had been doing. And when you were talking about, well, we've got to get this transferred, we've got to get this original vector file. I'm thinking, what's a vector file?
Right.
So people that are out there, so they understand absolutely what you're doing. What
Mm-hmm.
is a vector file?
Well, a vector file is a scalable file that doesn't lose its resolution when you enlarge it. So for a lot of things like banners and t-shirts, when you need your logo up large, you need a vector file. A, so that it looks sharp and clear, and B, the printers need to be able to color separate the colors within the logo so that they can silkscreen on. Of course, there are some printers that do digital printing, which is, you might be able to get away with something else, but for the most part, every t-shirt person I've ever worked with has wanted vector files because they need to separate the colors to do the silk screens. That's like traditional printing. When we had CMYK, they would have plates, and they had to run all 4 plates at different times. Now it's not
Right.
such a big deal because it's all digital printing and it's one pass. But see, there you go. So yeah, so I had to go in and literally hand draw everything in the logo because she didn't have an original vector file. So
I didn't know that. Wow.
no, she just had a web PNG file. I'm going, this is not going to fly. So I took it upon myself to create that for her. And now she has one if she needs it. And she'll be able to do huge banners and things in the future. But so yeah, you really have to think as a designer, what is the logo going to be used for in the future? But for me, I usually always do my logos in Illustrator because I figured, at some point first is last. You might as well do it properly in the beginning, spend the time to do it right. And then, that's what a proper designer does. You're constantly thinking, how is this going to be used in the future? What are my clients' needs? Mm-hmm. So, like thinking as a nonprofit, you're going to be having events sooner or later down the road, t-shirts, caps, everything. So, just trying to think ahead and give you as much as possible to work with. Because I know it's having, so.
Well, and I appreciate that. So let's take it through a journey. Okay. Because I was having fun doing this because I thought, okay, well, anybody that starts anything and you're trying to have a logo, it's like, where do you start? Right. And I'm not showing the tomato heads because actually there were some tomato heads that the very first, you hear about, go here to this one particular site where you might be able to, for $5, be able to get some help or something, Right. And so I did try that a few times. And the very first time, I think I was just I woke up in the middle of the night because it was supposed to come around 3 o'clock in the morning my time. I'm waking up and that was when I didn't have that habit going on, and it was like, okay, I can't wait, excitement. And then I see this, and it was like, seriously, I thought, okay, there's 2 tomato heads with eyes for the buddies, it's ridiculous. And I was so mortified. I don't think I even saved the file because I was like, oh,
oh,
because
yeah.
so then it was a matter of, okay, anything can be better than this. So we started out. So this was one of the very first logos. Okay. So, and then it went to what ended up happening for a while was, and we knew that it was Chemo Buddies for Life was supporting all cancers, all stages. However, the first 2 buddies were from breast cancer. And so,
right.
And when you're in the very beginning, you're trying to think, okay, how are we going to brand ourselves? How are we going to do this? What are we going to do? So that's what the original logo was for a while. Well, I'll never forget. I was on an airplane going to an event, and there was this person that was like, okay, interesting concept, kind of interested. Let me see your print. What are you using? And I'm so proud, and he had my card, and he's like, this logo does not work. And talking about how busy it was and everything like this. And I was like, because you get in the very beginning. I'm not there now because it's like I want something, and I think this. It's like I just want something that's going to work, right? That's going to tell the story and it's going to be simple, and you get to that point. But in the very beginning, I was so emotionally involved in it. It's like, I'm devastated. Well, then the next evolution in it was this one, that this is what, when you came into my world, this is what we were working with. It was
right.
And that was like second or third draft within it, but it was the idea of the 2 hearts that kind of have an idea of being a ribbon, but not quite a ribbon, and more the circle being, what comes around goes around, and, all of the different symbolicness that is involved in it. And so then when we started working together, and because, thank you, Lauren Harris, he worked out something. And I was thrilled because one of the first things he said to me was, Tamara, you got to do something about that image. And I'm like, I know. I know. If nothing else, it just screams breast cancer, and that was one of the big issues, is that we needed to make it much more universal and just clean it up a bit, because I had been working with you. I understood that. So what ended up happening is then you like, okay, well, we'll work on it for the give-a-thon.
Yes.
So this image came about.
Yeah. Yay. So yes.
So let's talk about this.
Right. So the first thing was we needed to clean up the logo so that all the fonts and the typography were clean and clear. That was one of the main things. And then we changed the color from the pink to the purple, which is the universal color for cancer. So because we don't want to exclude anyone. And then since it's such a special event, we came up with the ribbon going across the logo. And so it's kind of like we still have like that ribbon theme, but we're kind of reinventing it in a new way. And then we're still putting, heart in there.
Right. So, right.
So, I think it's a simple solution, a quick, simple solution to what we needed, in order to provide all the graphics in time for the give-a-thon. And I think it looks clean.
Yes.
And it just, I feel like, there's the ribbon kind of hugs the logo kind of. So it's like, we have our hugs in there. So.
Right. And then we talked about the fact that we would be also honoring in memorial while we're doing the give-a-thon and for those that are donating in behalf of or in honor of. And then you came up with, because I'm like, okay, and we were talking about it. We were having some fun, sending little gifts back and forth. But it was, because we say it in our verbiage within our community that one of our buddies has gained their wings, and
Right.
so we ended up doing this image. I have to say, I absolutely love it.
Oh.
I really and so do so many within our community. I mean, it's just like they have felt like
Yeah.
you just completely hit a home run. And so then it was, okay, well, let's come up with something that we can then have as a logo, because we were
Uh-huh.
going to maybe think, okay, let's get to the Giveathon, because the the crowning took place on August the 30th, and then all of a
Right.
sudden he's like, okay, no time to
Boom.
rest, guys, because guess what? I have a second annual event. Because in fact, I'll never forget the very first time I ever met with Jason as my official coach, right? We had a very quick conversation to kind of start setting things up, and he's like, okay, yeah, we'll set things up and we'll start looking at 2020. And I'm like, I have something. And I told him, okay, and I started laying it out in
Mm-hmm.
the typical Tamara way, which I'm now learning is way too many words, So then it would be like shorter, get to the point. So then I ended up blurting it out. Okay, second annual, think of Jerry Lewis telethon on Giving Tuesday. And so then it was like, okay, Giving Tuesday, what are you talking about? So then he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Let's do it. And so then the
Yeah.
wheel just started like coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And in no time, I'm pretty darn proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, there's a lot of people who are like, they should have started after the last one. Well, we had to win something. I only found out
Yeah.
we had just had that last event, and then within a short period of time, I'm running for an international crown. And
Right.
so it was a matter of, okay, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And if we can win the international crown and the resources, that will help,
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it really
Mm-hmm.
has.
Yes, you met a lot of people. Oh, you were working on your second annual. You're finding the people and the resources. So
Right,
and the
right.
support. It's the donators, the supporters. It's to run a nonprofit. It's a lot like running a business. So it
Oh,
takes a
yeah.
lot of. It likes to a lot of people. So
Yeah.
and building social media support is a lot of work too. So it's as we found out. So
Yeah, we did, didn't we? And I have to say, I'm so proud of our team.
Mm-hmm.
I really am proud of our team, because I would not have won had it not been our team at the end coming together. Our team came together, and it was because we were coming together for our nonprofit that
Mm-hmm.
we were supporting, the Fusion Project. We
Right.
all agreed that was important. And then you guys backed me by
Mm-hmm.
backing our nonprofit, and it was a team strategy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because Team Todd's the best, and we had to win. So.
Yeah, and I had to just say thank you to our
Well,
team,
hey. So
because
yeah. Well, we knew you're the yeah. We adore you, Tamara, and we all knew that you really worked hard, and yeah. So yeah.
well,
So we know we're like, yeah. Let's help push her over the finish line. So
and that meant a lot, because
right. So
and in turn, that's what is so great about what's
mm-hmm.
happening now, is because in truth, we
Mm-hmm.
now have people from a lot of the different teams that have joined this movement. And
Mm-hmm.
what's happening, the
Mm-hmm.
coaches that we won, that
Mm-hmm.
I won, we won, because
Mm-hmm.
we're all working with them, especially with
Right.
Jason, because he's the one that right now in what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing. But we're going to be calling upon the other ones as needed, as
Mm-hmm.
appropriate, to help with
Right.
our cause.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so exciting, because in truth, then all of us are learning
Right.
and winning, and so that we can then take, like your cause in
Mm-hmm.
helping, which is so important
Right,
because
right.
when you think about what Chemo Buddies is
Mm-hmm.
doing for those people that are affected by cancer, all of the
Mm-hmm.
other causes somehow fit under that umbrella.
Right. Well, everything is connected, so
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
it's yeah, we all win because we're all learning, getting resources and supporters, and so
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's so like, and so I want to point out that as part of the team, I'm donating 10% of my design services through
Yes.
Giving Tuesday. So you know please,
Yes.
contact me, and I can help upgrade your current marketing. And then the good part is that you not only get good marketing for your business, but you also get to donate and help chemo buddies and really make a difference for someone in their life. So that's what I'm putting out there. I highly encourage people. Now's the time. Get ready for 2020. It's going to
Yes.
be a busy, abundant year. We all feel it coming. It's like, boom, you
Yes.
know, 22. So it's the year of abundance. So,
Yes.
it's a good time to plan for that and get ready. But hey, so yes.
Well,
Um,
and what I want to do is I want to continue on this. I want to bring back that one image of the purple because I want people to understand, and I really do want people to see the the value that you bring because I have learned so much through you teaching
mhm.
and even your generosity of spirit. And
Oh.
so when we were talking, and then for the fact that we have a store for those people that don't know, we have a
uh,
store with some merchandise, and you were like, okay, so then we need some clean items,
mhm.
and you did a white one and you did a black one so that we have
Right.
those images for going forward,
Hmm.
and then you did the purple for it,
Hmm.
and this was something that you're like, you're gonna need it, so I'm
Right.
doing it. Here you
Right.
go.
Here you go. Well, I know that, if you're going to send stuff out for embroidery, like for hats, on your hats and stuff, because I could see the purple hearts being embroidered.
Mhm.
Sometimes they like black and white art just because it for whatever, it transfers easier for their computer programs when they're putting it into their machines and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think ahead for, like, okay, what is, because like I said, there's just various printers and vendors need different things. So
Right.
that's been my experience. I've worked in many different industries, so I understand everything from communications to manufacturing, real estate, medical, insurance, banking, candy. I designed gumball machines for one company, but
Did you really?
yeah, they're awesome too. One was a Miss Piggy gumball bank. It was awesome. I still
Wow.
have them somewhere around here, so I'm. Isn't
Oh, that is, well, see, that
that
doesn't
cool?
surprise. Yeah,
The
that is.
giant Pez, wobble pens, and gumball machines. So there you go.
And that's where your talent comes in, and that's what I really wanted to stress because as we bring this together, because I mean,
Hmm.
look at this. When we started talking about this, it was okay, roughly, what is the concept, what are the
Hmm.
ideas? And I was like all over the place. Really, she's being so kind and so considerate, and I'm like, yeah, I'm blah, that I can do.
Hmm.
And you simplified it. You
Hmm.
brought it into the today. You made it clean and
Hmm.
clear. You when we came up with the idea of Give-a-thon, thank you again, Lauren Harris, for that. It was okay. Now, how can we bring the eye? And that's why I love this. In fact, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make it and so that your face is not being taken up by your name right now. Um, okay, so as we're looking at this, and you look at the clean of the white, and then the purple, because of course that's the universal purple color. Then the hearts. People immediately, without even seeing the name, people immediately can pretty much almost tell that this is something having to do with cancer, right?
Right. Yeah, with the ribbon, like I said, with the ribbons and the hearts and the giveathon. So, I mean, well, that I like it because there's a well-designed ad will give your eye direction and areas to focus on. So, I think the purple is a strong color, and with the white type on the purple, people automatically your eye goes straight to the giveathon and to
Right.
the date, which is important. And then they go off to the side and then up to the upper right hand corner, and they're like, oh, okay, this is cool. What is this? So, I think it commands people's interest. A good ad will keep people's interest through the use of imagery or typography, color, and you need to consider that. You want people to stop and read whatever you're posting. So that was the goal. So
And you accomplished it. You
there we
accomplished
go.
it. I am getting nothing but, again, positive responses in regards to this. And okay, yes, we're doing the what was and what is. Now, this was last year. Okay, guys. Okay, yes. Okay, and it was all
Hey.
right. Um, no budget, no knowledge, doing what you can do just to say, I'm going to put the flag in the sand, the
Right.
line in the sand, whatever it may be. We're going to do this, right? I have
Right.
to say, hour number 4 was the most. That one became like infamous. I mean, that is everybody's favorite hour. That's why I pulled that one, because it was comical and fun and crazy, and yet you look at that. So I'm going to pull the this down. Okay, so it's okay. There we go. All right, so you look at the two together. Your eye on the one, your eye on the other. It to me is completely obvious what you are teaching. It's like, okay, this is a professional. This is someone that is just saying, we're going to do it. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong with it, because
No.
I mean, it shows that there has to be an evolution of something.
Right.
But what I wanted to do was to share the difference of having a professional that knows what they're doing. And this is a second annual, so it's basically the same thing translated differently. You can see the professionalism in the one that you did. You can tell the other one, okay, there's something to it. It's a fundraiser. It's very busy, very, very, okay, what is this? Too much information. And so I want to say thank you.
Aw.
Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you
Oh, thank
also
you.
for taking our cause and what we would call cause marketing, and being so believing in us so much. So what we want to do in return is share the belief in you. I
Yes.
want people to see that you know what you're doing,
Right.
and you are excellent to work with. You're fun.
Aw.
We've had our laughs. We've had our giggles. And you are
Aw.
patient and you really think it through. Everything that I talked about, you listened, and you asked questions. You were engaged, and that doesn't always happen with people. Sometimes, it's like that. If there's an easiness sometimes to glass over something, our eyes can kind of like, okay, too much information. I'm now done. Where you did it, you stuck with it, and that will forever be appreciated.
Well, I think part of it is as you're going global, Tamara, you need professional branding, and part of creating your integrity and consistency as a nonprofit brand, you need marketing and a logo that portrays that, that conveys that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a consistency there now. So so you're starting to have brand standards. It's kind of like, a lot of other nonprofits have that. The YMCA, for example, they have brand standards that help their audience see them as a consistent and dependable leader in their community.
Right.
So that's what you're building here, and your logos, your marketing helps you convey that. It's really important. So yeah, well, we're getting you there.
You are. And, and so with that, I want to also just say that you even things like the little ribbons and some of the extra touches that you have given us to be able to work within our website, within simple posts, that we can start having like a consistency of of a look that people will say, oh, well, there they are. That's that buddies community. That's that group that's helping those people that are affected by cancer to not face it alone. And that goes a long way. So I want to say thank you beyond thank you beyond thank you, because I know what you've been doing for us. And then on top of it, for you to then say that you are going to donate back on any new business. So let's get the business going.
This is in honor of my family members who died of cancer too. My aunt and uncle. So this is honoring them in their life. My uncle was a veteran as well. So so please help. Yeah, let's help support Chemo Buddies. We can support Tama's program and like, well, hey, you know what? And I'll save it to Giving Tuesday. So whatever design service you guys are planning to do with me, 10% of that will go to Chemo Buddies. I'll save it for Giving Tuesday. So then it'll go to like, what is that? It'll double.
Right.
It'll be like 20%.
Yeah.
So we'll put it, if you donate through Facebook on Giving Tuesday, it doubles, right?
Right.
So so people, just give me a call. Let's talk.
Yes.
And you can get some important marketing business done, as well as donate to a really great cause to support Chemo Buddies. So how good is that? So how fantastic.
I love it.
Business and charity, win-win.
It's a win-win-win. So, exactly.
So, right? So,
and starting the year off 2020, you think about the vision of 2020, pure vision, being able to go focused, laser vision into the next year, and to be able to do it with a fresh look. And I really hope everybody understands that that Brooke is someone that knows what she's doing. If you've listened to this at all, I really hope your take home is that she understands. She's educated. She's been there. She's worked in a variety of industries. She's got so many of the different disciplines that she is able to do, because she's got the ability for the drawing piece, even the graphics understanding, the print understanding, and I can attest to it because of working with her. So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting?
Many of you are looking for a new look. Let's make it happen, and everybody wins in the meantime.
There you go. Cool.
So when we're done, do you mind putting all your contact information in, and so that it's easy for them to get a hold of you?
Okay, great. Yeah, I will. For sure. So awesome. Thank you, Tamara. So,
you're welcome. Well, thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, but it's been an honor to work with the team, and they're a great team to work with, folks. So don't hesitate to volunteer. There's something everyone can do. So it all creates the magic, right? So
and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we have good people.
But So yeah, stay tuned everyone for Giving Tuesday. I can't wait to see all the stuff you have lined up. Tamara has some good stuff, folks. So
I'm looking forward to it too. It's only getting better. We're going to be announcing it very soon. We're working on. We're having to redo some of the schedule and everything to make sure that everybody gets in where they're going to go. However, it is getting really exciting what is coming together. And so, is there any last minute words of wisdom or pearls that you would like to share with us?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say, just get out there, and this holiday season's coming up. So now is a great opportunity to be generous and thoughtful. And like you said, we're all connected. So get out there in your communities, and figure out who you can help, even the simplest of things. So, and smile. So give someone a smile. That's the only thing you can do. So,
That's huge. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Could change someone's day. Absolutely.
right.
And it can actually change their life. You never know. You
Right.
never know.
Right. So,
All right. Well,
very cool. Thanks, Tamara. So,
you're welcome. So as we close, day number 338 of 365 Days of Awesome, celebrate success through service. Brooke, you are someone that I treasure. I am grateful that we were put together to be on Team Todd. Thank you for all the experiences together there. And then I am beyond thrilled that we have been working together and that you yourself are the one that has helped to update our look and give it that shine so that we can go into the year 2020 looking like the professional nonprofit that we truly are.
there you go. There you go. Yes.
All right.
And rock on. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Rock on. Okay, so
Rock on.
everybody, we are going to continue with the countdown tomorrow morning. Be watching. It's going into the teens starting tomorrow. All right, everybody. Make it a great night.
Bye.
Bye.